Cursed Child.
Yeah, did you watch The Cursed Child?
I didn't watch it. I only read it.
Okay.
What do you mean watch
Well, they
it?
have it
Like
on
on Play?
Broadway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I never saw it on Broadway.
I felt that was very a Christmas Carol-ish.
Well,
It's
because
just
they go back in
basically,
time.
it's like what would it have been like if these characters lived?
Okay, remind me, because I've only read the book once. What happens to Cedric? Do they actually save him?
I think they save him. I know they go back and like Snape's alive, and at one point rumored they were going to have like a book. I mean, not a book, movie.
They need to, because okay, was I a big fan of the book? No.
Yeah.
Do I still want to see it acted out? Yes. But that play itself is kind of like Star Wars and Disney, is like they're just grasping, because J.K. wasn't even involved with it.
Not really. And I think, actually, I don't know if I'd want to see a movie. I think the thing about seeing the play is the special effects they use with the magic and stuff. It's just like kind of the practical. I think that's what
in
kind
real
of makes
life,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, I heard that's pretty phenomenal.
Because they do a time turner. Like, so did you see it?
No, but I've just, from what I've heard, I know some people that went and seen it. So,
FYI, for people listening or watching, we're just watching a movie.
Yeah. This is Phil.
This is Katie.
And who's with me?
It's Katie.
And we're at the Colony in downtown Gallipolis, where they are showing a Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. And this is like the fourth time we've done an intro. But it's a nice little place where it's a restaurant, and they show movies, and they have other special events. And today they were kind enough to allow us to come down and watch Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. And we're about a half hour into it.
Yeah, we
just saw Gilderoy Lockhart just made his first appearance.
His big entrance.
Yeah.
And we saw the flying car. We saw the Pixies, or not Pixies
Cornish,
is right now.
Cornish, yeah, he's getting ready with the
Professor Sprout with the.
Oh, the Mandrake.
Mandrakes. There you go. Which that actress is Miriam, and I can't remember.
Yeah.
Thompson, maybe? I can't remember her last name, but she's been on Graham Norton so many times since.
Yeah.
And I think she's hilarious.
She actually made a comment a while back about like Harry Potter fans should like grow up. It was like a movie, and I mean,
no,
I think it kind of like didn't go over well.
Well, who is also like that is Professor McGonagall, Maggie Smith.
Oh yeah,
she gets really annoyed with American fans, and I think she's kind of like, leave me alone. I play these parts, but I don't really care for the fan base.
Yeah,
I feel like, which is fine.
Yeah,
she played a character. She shouldn't be like harassed for it.
Well, you shouldn't, but I mean, like you have endearing like movies or books that people. It's part of pop culture now. It's part of the culture. It's like the fans aren't really just going to go away. It's kind of embedded. You know.
I mean, it's true. When you sign on for something like that, you know that there's several books and there's going to be several movies.
Yeah.
You may not know how iconic it's about to be, but at that time, those books were huge.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's, I would say, I don't know if it would be quite as comparable to Star Wars back in the 70s, because that was like, I mean, that's like, if you had to say out of all pop culture, most iconic things, I mean, Star Wars has to be those core movies, the first three. I mean, that really
it's incomparable. How would you say that?
Exactly.
Yeah, that.
Which we were talking like earlier before we kind of got started at one of our, like the second time we tried to record an intro.
I've truly lost track.
Yeah. We just had some technical problems and whatnot. But we were talking about the new Acolyte series.
Which I will try. I will go ahead and put that at the end. It's a very poor audio quality, but I'll put it at the end. That way everyone gets to hear it.
And we were just kind of touching lightly on that and decided, I talked about I wasn't a huge fan of it. just for various reasons. But namely, they were retreading some of the, same things from the earlier movies. Like, we have these two twins, and they were created in the Force. So I think that kind of takes away a little bit of Anakin, which was an anomaly in the Force. The Force.
It's double dipping.
Yeah, it is, because it's just like kind of come up with an original story thread.
With me. Would that be such a bad thing?
Yeah, it would. Just have a thought. Have an original thought.
I agree. And I explain that I think I'm kind of more lenient towards it because it's almost like looking at a view from a different vantage point. Or it's twins, but one is evil, one is good. But I get why you're tired of that. Why can't we just have something new?
Yeah, and I mean, I don't even really care that it's twins, but that was the problem with The Force Awakens. It was just a retelling, retelling of the original.
Like, throw the cookie cutters away.
Yeah.
And
come up with something original.
You can change the icing all you want, but it's still the same shaped cookie.
Yeah.
I really like that analogy. Ron just threw up a slug.
Yeah.
Because his wand's broken. Okay, let's talk about the similarities of Harry Potter to Star Wars. Because you've got a young boy you're following.
Yeah, that's an orphan.
That's an orphan,
It's raised by his uncle.
Yes, an aunt, yeah.
And, well, I guess, Voldemort wasn't his dad, but...
No, but he did kill his parents.
Yeah.
In a way, Vader killed Anakin.
Yeah. So it's there's a lot of similarities.
But it works. But like I said, it's like a different vantage point. So it's the same type of story that we know works. But in this instance, it's in a magical universe rather than a force-wielding universe. The clothing's different. There's different things like flying cars instead of R2-D2 and C-3PO. And
I think if you want to talk about a series, though, that really copies Star Wars, I think we talked about that before. Aragon. Have you ever read that book?
Yeah, there were some people that hated that.
Yeah.
Is the book better than the movie?
I read the book because everybody's like, oh my gosh, this 18-year-old wrote this novel, and it's just like so
an
amazing.
18-year-old wrote it?
He was 18 when he wrote it. But I mean, it's the exact same story as Star Wars. I mean, but it's set in a medieval, so it's like kind of a cross between Lord of the Rings. Because, I mean, if you saw the movie.
I saw it when it came out originally.
Okay.
I haven't seen it since.
But you have this,
I know Avril Lavigne sings a
orphan
song.
that grows up with his uncle.
It's
and then they, the bad guy, there's a
Who
knight.
plays his uncle? It's Scar. It's Scar from Lion King.
Is it? I don't know. It's been such a long
Jeffrey Irons. Or is that not his uncle?
I don't know if that's his uncle. I
or
can't
the guy
remember.
That trains
I know
him,
he's in
maybe.
it.
Yeah.
But then you had this loner from town, comes along, takes him under his wing. It turns out he was this dragon knight, gives him a glowing sword. They meet up with a rogue, like Han Solo type character.
A glowing sword.
And there's even a rebel base at the end because they're there's the extinct like this dragon knight, and he killed all the other dragon knights, and he's like the bad guy. But I mean, it's
so the kid took Star Wars and made it medieval.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's almost like when I read it, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. It's kinda
well,
maybe he didn't. Maybe he just it was a coincidence.
That
But I mean,
came
it's the
in-
exact same
That came
story.
out in maybe 2004 or something like that.
Yeah.
So I was still at an age where I didn't pick up on stuff like that. And
Yeah.
also I was at an age where I didn't know Star Wars well. Still don't.
Yeah.
I'm trying. But it is true. It's all these series, it's like Avatar. It's all children who have been orphaned or have lost everything. And now you find out that they're all powerful and like the best at certain
That's
things.
the stuff and things.
Yes. Stuff and things.
It's the hero's journey.
Yeah. It works. You know what? It's what, unfortunately, I mean, no one wants to have a tragedy in their life, but it's what everyone wants is to be, not know that you're amazing and then find out all of a sudden that
You're
are
special.
Yeah.
You're the kind of outcast. And
Yeah. And shout out to Daniel Radcliffe. He won a Tony, I believe, for Merrily We Roll Along on Broadway. He's in that with Jonathan Groff and Leslie Menendez. Did I get her first name wrong? I know her last name's Menendez.
I'm not familiar with it. So.
She was Elphaba in Wicked at one point. They won. It's a Stephen Sondheim musical, and they revamped it. And it tells the story of three friends, but in reverse. So you meet them, and then bit by bit, you're going back by 20 years. So you see their friendship throughout the 20 years. And I don't know it well enough, but I believe by the end, like, they've kind of... They're either upset with each other. I don't know. Something happens, and you basically find out what happened in reverse. By the way, I'm having my old-fashioned. If you heard the interview with Chris and Rhett from The Colony, Chris made me an old-fashioned, and it's very good. I'm sipping on it. So now they have, we're watching the movie. This is almost like a live reaction, but they're not watching a movie. We're watching The Chamber of Secrets has been opened. It's the writing on the wall. And Phil, okay, for children in a school, children, to see blood written on the wall, and then you find out it's Filch's cat's blood. I mean, it's disturbing, is it not?
Yeah.
They hung the cat up by the tail. Now, we find out later that that's Jenny, right?
Yeah. I
Okay.
think Voldemort was controlling her.
Taking her over, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's another disturbing thing. That they did that to that cat.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm no fan of cats, but I don't want that happening to it. All right, everyone. We are here with Rhett, worker number 1, a.k.a. Chris, and Jackson here at the Colony Club. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello. All right, you guys own the Colony Club, correct?
The Colony.
The
Yep.
Colony.
Yes.
The Colony. Okay,
Oh,
yeah, there you
yes,
go.
Gotta get the name right.
Gotta get it right. I made the mistake so everyone could learn.
That's right. It was just a learning experience.
Yes, yes. Well, it's beautiful in here. It's got a
you.
great ambiance. I used that word earlier.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, tell me about how you got started with it all the work put into it, and what
Should
happens
you
on
tell
a
them
weekly
the true
basis.
story of how we started?
So actually, the way we got started is we rented this space for my mom and dad's 50th wedding anniversary.
Okay.
And that's back when it was closed as a restaurant, but they were still renting it just for events and things like that.
Yeah.
So we rented it, and my sister and I did the food and everything for it. And the lady that was running at the time actually was like, "Hey, have you guys ever thought about owning a restaurant and opening this back up?" And we're like, "Well, yeah, but not. I mean, we've thought about a restaurant."
Yeah.
He went to bartending school, so that kind of put the idea in our head, and it kind of went from there, and that's how
You're
we
not telling
we
them
got
the true
started.
story.
I'm not.
No. We get in here, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh yeah, come on in. And when you want to hang out behind the bar here and just watch the food." And I feel like she had strategically had people and family. You look really good and comfortable behind there. You're doing a great job. And then it was,
Wow.
come see how awesome this kitchen is. And then by the end, it was, so what do you think? Yeah. So.
It was a mind game, wasn't it?
It's a little bit. No, it was definitely an interesting experience to come in, and it probably did make it for us because we got to feel like we were still moving things and doing business here, even though it was just for a anniversary. So that probably helped a lot.
Yeah. I know I did
job.
have my 10-year high school reunion here. That was a while
Okay.
back. We're not going to add the math for that. But but it is a great space because you've got this huge screen here. You've got the table. You've got the restaurants. You've got the bar. It's an all-in-one atmosphere. It's great. And
Yes,
it's great to
very
have in this
versatile,
town. Yeah.
We also rent it still on the days we're closed.
Okay.
So if you want to have a graduation party or an anniversary get together, we've even had memorials in here for people. So
We did Jessica's 40 over 40, or I
Oh
think
yes,
that was
Jessica
the term,
Malone's
right?
photography reception was here.
Nice.
So that
okay.
helped two businesses out.
Yeah.
So we like to do things like that and network with other businesses. We also have drop-in and paints where Boardroom 46 comes down
Oh, that's
and
neat.
sets up, and people can come in and paint and then have dinner.
Nice. Everything. One-stop shop.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, karaoke. Absolutely. Got to come in and, well, drink a little and sing. I mean, you could come in and just sing, but I mean,
Who
I think
wants
it's
to
a
hear
little bit more
someone
fun.
sing who hasn't had a little bit?
Or you can just bring someone else in to drink with and make them sing.
There you go.
See, it's all about the participation. That's right.
Yes.
Well,
The
hopefully-
designated driver can get all the
Yeah.
entertainment.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. That's right. We haven't had one yet. We're really due for one, but we've done things like we've had really good success with our comedy shows. We did
Yeah.
3 so far. Hopefully, we'll get another 4th one in. We've been looking at trivia nights, also a theater type night. We've had players to come in and do all kinds of different types. We're not sure exactly which one. So there's
Yeah,
some
we
different
talked to
stuff
the
that we've
French Art
talked about.
Colony about
So theater, like
doing
acting and
Oh,
plays,
yeah.
or yeah. Oh,
One
neat.
was just they did their own show. Another one was interactive with the crowd. So there's some different things. It takes a lot of time. They set it up, then they have to prepare and like practice and all that. So it just
Yeah.
takes a little while. So
We
we're hoping to get
we
some other
actually do
things.
have a murder mystery scheduled. We're partnering with United Way.
Yeah.
So it's a fundraiser for them.
Yeah.
And they're going to come in August.
Okay.
We're just waiting on an exact date.
Who
But we'll
killed
be
the
doing
bartender?
a murder mystery.
Who
in
killed
here,
the
so-
worker?
Worker 1. Where did Worker 1 go?
The mystery of Worker 1.
That sounds like a podcast all by itself.
There you go. That's awesome.
Here we go. I'm
So
going to be paying royalties at some point. Here
you
we go.
went to bartender school. I got to hear about this.
It was really cool. We won't romanticize it like I got some big, college degree in bartending. I mean, maybe in drinking, but not
Yeah.
in bartending. But after I graduated from Berea College, I did go to Lexington a couple weeks for a bartending school up there.
Yeah.
I had a very old school gentleman, suspenders, all that. Was very good about propriety and how it should be as opposed to just being flamboyant and fun. So it was a good, solid base. And I attended bar in Kentucky and then out in California for a while, ran bars out there, and then came home and met my lovely wife. And then, shaped up and became a family man. No, I'm just teasing. But I learned a lot of stuff dealing with people and things like that. So
Nice.
it was fun.
I know
and
how
I
to-
watched Cocktail when I was a kid. So there you go.
You're like Tom Cruise.
I don't know. Tom's a little crazy. I don't know. I may
Yeah,
not,
he
maybe
is.
money wise, but not.
I'm
the
just
other.
meeting Tom Cruise in Cocktail.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
it.
I'll take that. That's fine.
I literally can only make an old fashioned. That's the only thing I can make.
Well, we have been told, I'd say close to about 30 times now, that we make the best old fashioned that people have ever had.
Well, there we go.
So if you'd like to one today, I did just get a new brand of bitters. So if you'd like to be a guinea pig, you're more than welcome.
I'm happy to be a guinea
There you
pig.
go.
And then in the kitchen, we have a lot going on as well. We've got baked spaghetti this week, right?
Yes. It's
And
very popular.
What other kind of specials do you have going on in the kitchen?
We have a Cobb salad.
Okay.
Also, you can. It comes with breaded chicken, but you can also sub the grilled chicken on there.
Yeah.
We have sold about 30 of those this week, I believe. So it's pretty popular. It's a very big salad, but we do all the toppings in rows, so it looks really nice.
You should call it Oh My Cobb.
There we go. That's great.
There you go. She's racking up royalties today. She's like, oh, by the way, I'll send you that email.
No, that's great. Also, the history of this building. Can you give me, I know that there's something going on with the murals, the history of the murals, and what this used to be in the town, that kind of history.
So it was the Colony Theater. I believe it was built back in the 40s. I don't know the exact year.
Okay.
But it was open as a theater until about the mid-90s. I mean, it did go through some changes and things, but they did have original murals up that were bigger.
Okay.
They covered the entire wall.
Oh, okay.
These murals that are in here right now were done in 1989
Okay.
by a gentleman named Brad Painter.
No, Brad, yeah.
And he put those up, and they've been up since then. And that was one of the things when we took over. Everybody's like, "Please don't take those
Yeah,
down."
they
it's
look
a
very
big part
art-
of the history of
Art
the town.
Deco.
and-
Yeah.
The thing is, it's all those. If you're done, everything that connects. Like we have City Perk mugs. If anybody remembers the
Yes.
City Perk on Court Street, Robin Fowler owns the State Farm agency down here. Some friend of hers went, guess what I found at a yard sale? It's a box of your cups for $4. So she got them, and they brought them to her, and then she brought them to us. And we use them for silverware and things like that. Those, each little tiny piece, just like the Mr. Painter that did the murals, he went to school with my mom. I had no idea. So there's all these things that when you start talking to people and it drills down, everybody has all these small spiderweb type connections that, you know what I mean? They've all been here. They all have a memory, and it makes it kind of neat for us to hear all that.
Robin was my first boss. That was my first job.
Okay, at State Farm?
Other than, you know,
Or
growing
at the
up on
City
a dairy
Perk?
At the
farm.
City Perk.
The City
Oh,
Perk
okay,
was my
gotcha.
first, that's where I worked in high school.
And I was so excited I'd get a wife that liked coffee.
No.
Nope.
And
You
the
don't
funny
like
thing
coffee?
is, I do not. No.
And you worked at the City Perk.
Yes. He actually lived above Criminal Records, which was
Yes.
next door.
Yeah.
When I was working there, he had already graduated.
Yeah.
He's a few years older than me. But he came in all the time, and we never met because I worked
Wow.
after school, and he always came in the mornings. So he actually
You just
dated
never
a girl
crossed
I
paths.
worked with at the City Park. So
This is a movie ready to happen.
yeah. So we didn't meet till
There are all
later
kinds
on.
of different movies.
It's going to be called Criminal Coffee. That's what it's going to be called. No, I remember City Perk. I'd go there in my elementary school days. We'd go there before school. My dad would get coffee. I'd get, you know.
You're making me feel old.
I'm sorry.
We had really good smoothies too. I remember the smoothie machine.
At the
Yeah.
Perk, yep. And then even older, I won an award for a $20 gift card to Criminal Records, and
Nice.
I spent it there in elementary school.
So if you're really old, then you remember Charlie's. Does
Yeah.
anybody remember Charlie's?
Right across the
Hamburgers and
street, right?
fries. That's
Yep.
right.
Yep.
And the wall of candy.
Now, I never was old enough I never went in Charlie's. Just because I don't think Mom and
I
Dad
think
ever
it
took
shut
us
down
there.
shortly after when they closed lunch, like walk over town lunch.
Yes.
And,
Yeah, we used to go there for lunch.
oh yeah.
Yep.
LaRobi's and everything, yeah. And then I do remember my sister brought my other sister here to see Snow White when it was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and-
you could come here. I think it was $2
there
to
you
see
go,
a movie.
Phil. $2, yeah.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to see one of the Star Wars here. So yeah, I was
Whoa.
very cool. Yeah, it was very cool.
Like originally come out, or was it?
No, I don't think it
okay.
was real, but I did get to see one here like after that. Like not back.
Nice.
That was way too young.
Yeah.
That was, yeah.
Nice. We're big Star Wars fans and
Well, yeah,
Harry Potter
my
fans.
son, he like thought it was like this crazy thing when he found out that I was a year older than Star Wars. Yeah, he's like, "You're older than Star Wars." I'm like, "Yes."
Jackson could probably win some Star Wars trivia.
Yeah.
Ooh,
he's-
Phil, do you have a
I
trivia
think
question?
he knows more than I do.
Do you have one to ask Jackson?
Not off the top of my head.
I will tell you this, just
Yeah.
in case you're wondering, we do have a gentleman that works here, Jared.
Yes.
Who was happy to let us know that back in the day he was on one of the top 5 or 10 people on some type of scholastic thing for Harry Potter trivia. So if anyone wants to go head to head, I'm sure you could
We
call
have a
him out on
quiz.
that.
We have a quiz.
There
You should
go.
come
You
down
can pull
and
him down here
participate in
quiz
it.
him. Just make him look silly. I mean, I didn't say that. I'm so sorry. That's what
Bring
you
it
can
on,
edit, right?
Jared.
You can edit that one.
No. I've got a question for Jackson.
Okay.
I'm coming to it's off the top of my head. It's from a previous episode we had. When Anakin was tested for his midi-chlorian count, what amount of midi-chlorians did he have in his system? It was over a certain number.
Oh, I don't even remember now. That was harsh.
That was a hard one.
That's a hard one.
Yeah. I have no idea either. I used to know, but I don't.
Okay, here we go. Easier. Who is Anakin Skywalker? Yeah, what's his alter ego? Darth Vader. There you
There
go.
we
He
go. We got
got
a
it. And the number was over 20,000.
That's right. There was
Midi-chlorian.
1,000 in there. but
Yeah, yeah.
Just a little bit.
There you go. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. And thank you for having us here. I really,
really
We
appreciate it.
appreciate you guys coming in.
absolutely. And I'm excited to order something to eat and get the new bitters in the
Yes,
old fashioned.
and watch a free movie.
And the pressure is on.
Yes.
That's right. The pressure is on.
There you go. Thank you guys.
Absolutely,
Thank
guys.
you.
Would you
Thanks
like
for
to play the quiz that I had?
Sure.
It's called the Chamber of Questions. I took about 10 seconds to come up with the title. And I've got 7 questions. And all of them have to do with Chamber of Secrets. The movie, specifically. And it'll have an audio clip to go with the answers. Okay? By the way, we're very comfortable sitting here in the couch area. And the colony, like the Rhett and Chris were saying, they've got a lot of stuff here that... Is this like skee ball? Or no, it's not skee ball.
Like shuffleboard.
Shuffleboard. There you go. They got a shuffleboard table. They got this fun little couch area that we're sitting at. And they've got the stage here. So they have musical artists all the time, I know. And then they were talking about Boardroom 46. So they have a lot of different activities going on. It's very relaxing here, don't you think?
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. There's little kids here watching. Across from us, I see 2 little kids watching. Okay, Chamber of Questions. Are you ready, Phil?
Yeah.
Okay. When the movie starts, who is Harry talking to?
Hedwig.
Let's listen to the audio clip and see if you're right.
I can't let you out, Hedwig. I'm not allowed to use magic outside of school. Besides, if Uncle Vernon... Now you've done it.
Now you've done it. Phil, can you do a British accent?
Not very good.
What's the best thing you can say in a British accent?
I don't know.
Okay, say I don't know in a British accent.
It has to be spontaneous. I can't do it.
Okay, well, whenever
command.
you feel
I'll
spontaneous.
just jump in there with it.
Yes, say it whenever you'd like. And then I'm going to make it a clip, and then we'll use it in future episodes. Okay, second question. What Muggle item does Mr. Weasley ask Harry about at breakfast?
A rubber duck.
Tell me, what exactly is the function of a rubber duck?
Very good. Some of these are easy. Number 3, what character says fear of a name only increases fear of the thing itself?
Hermione.
Fear of a name only increases fear of the thing itself.
Very good. Where did she say that at? She's on the screen right now.
I don't know. Is it like in the library?
Bookshop.
Bookshop.
Well,
I
they're
knew
good.
it was like...
She says
I
it's
was thinking
a...
Diagon Alley, but...
What alley?
Diagonally.
Diagonally. She says it to Lucius. And then, remember, he throws the book in her pot. In her pot or whose pot?
Ginny's pot. Miss
Ginny's,
Weasley's pot.
That's right. All right, number 4. Where do the trio go to brew the Polyjuice potion, and who is always there?
It's at the girls' bathroom.
Okay.
And I was going to say... is it Moaning Myrtle?
Enlighten me. Why are we brewing this potion in broad daylight in the middle of a girls' lavatory? Don't you think we'll get caught?
No. No one ever comes in here.
Why?
Moaning Myrtle.
Who?
Moaning Myrtle.
Who's Moaning Myrtle?
I'm Moaning Myrtle.
You know, she's like, the actress who played her was like 30 when she played
she's
that.
older. Actually, Moaning Myrtle's in the bathroom at Universal Studios.
How so? How do they
You
do
hit
that?
her voice like when you're in the bathroom.
Okay. Do you ever like see her in the mirror or anything?
You just like...
Also, Maggie Smith's on the screen right now, and man, okay, no offense to her, she's a beautiful lady, but I thought she looked old then. But she looks great. I'm looking at her on the screen right now, and she looks great. But I thought she looked like she was 80 then. But I was Harry's age.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next question. Finish this quote by Gilderoy Lockhart. Laugh if you will, Mr. Blank, but pixies can be devilishly tricky little blighters.
Oh, I know who the character is. I'm thinking...
I'll try to reenact it. Laugh if you will, Mr. Finnegan, but Oh, I
Oh,
just
it's
said
Mr.
it.
Finnegan. That's why I said I couldn't think of his name. I knew who it was. I couldn't think of his name.
I just said it. Crap.
You may find yourselves facing your worst fears in this room.
Sorry.
Know only that no harm can befall you whilst I am here. I must ask you not to scream. It might provoke them!
Cornish pixies?
Freshly caught Cornish pixies. Laugh if you will, Mr. Finnegan. But pixies can be devilishly tricky little blighters. Let's see what you make of them. No!
Okay. Just a couple more. How did Harry free Dobby from the Malfoys?
Gave him a sock. Put a sock in the diary. Said you forgot this?
Come, Dobby.
Open it.
Dobby?
Master has given Dobby a sock.
What? I didn't...
Master has presented Dobby with clothes. Dobby is free.
That's an iconic one. I think everyone knows that, even if they haven't watched it. You think?
Mm-hmm.
All right, this one doesn't have an audio clip. What book do you see at the end of the credits with Lockhart on the cover?
Magical Me.
No. It's the one he gives all the students.
I don't know.
Who Am I?
Oh.
Remember, because he forgets who he is. All right, last one. What is the term for a non-magical born witch or wizard, and how does Ron try to defend Hermione after we find out the term?
It's Mudblood.
Mm-hmm.
And he tries to make Malfoy slugs.
Malfoy? That's right. And that's not all that's new this year.
Those are Nimbus 2001s. How did you get those?
A gift from Draco's father.
You see, Weasley, unlike some, my father can afford the best.
At least no one on the Gryffindor team had to buy their way in. They got in on pure talent.
No one asked your opinion, you filthy little mudblood.
She'll pay for that one, Malfoy. Eat slugs!
There we go. You got them all but one because I ruined it.
Yeah.
Okay, Phil, we need Dr. Weedy to break down if it's possible to make all the bones in your arm disappear.
Probably not for Bibles,
Huh?
but not for Bibles, but
Yeah. For wizards. All right, Philbo Baggins. We're back here at the colony. We're going to close out this episode.
Yep.
How'd you enjoy your food and stuff?
It was good.
We were at the part in the movie where Harry's writing in the diary. What's his name?
Harry Potter.
No, Tom Riddle.
Tom Marvolo Riddle.
And I always thought it was funny how his handwriting is like a normal handwriting. Like a normal kid's handwriting. And then Tom's is like, looks like it's from the 17th century.
Yeah. Well, he was older. I mean, he was like...
Oh. It's creepy looking. All right, so we are closing it out here. They've had several people come in and eat. They've got a lot of people up at the bar. I think it's people like eating up on the top level. But yeah, I got a burger with fries. It was yummy. It was a smash burger with 2 patties. It was yummy, and I had my old fashioned. It was yummy as well. But we're gonna kind of close it out here. Phil, last thoughts on Chamber of Secrets?
One of my favorites. I like the first two are my favorite. Movie-wise. Book-wise, it's the last 2 books.
Yeah, I think we were talking about how just the look and the feel of them are completely different.
Yeah.
We're getting distracted by watching it.
Still had Richard Harris.
Yeah.
My favorite Dumbledore.
The only Dumbledore.
Mm-hmm.
Harry, did you put your name into the goblet of fire?
He said calmly.
Really, I don't know, God rest both of their souls. But I'm pretty sure he said he didn't read any of the books before he...
Yeah, I don't think he did. Which I always think...
Gambon, right?
Yeah. Which... I think you should.
Absolutely.
And just, you'll get a lot of... I think like... Some of the Marvel series, you get some of the writers, it's like, I stayed away from the source material. I didn't... you shouldn't. You should read it. 'Cause, like, the fans are the ones that going to see it, so you should at least be familiar and, like, say, hey, this is going to be authentic to the character or authentic to the storyline.
Well, and I get a character or an actor wanting to take, like, liberties with a character maybe that has never been seen or known about before. But when it's coming from something...
Yeah. Yeah,
from
that's what I mean.
author.
You have this built-in fan base, and then it's like, well, I'm going to stay away from it. And I know you want to make it your own, but you know what? It's like an established character or established storyline. So I think you should be familiar with it. I think you should do your research.
Yeah. It's like saying Frodo wasn't a hobbit.
Yeah.
He was a hobbit.
But you know what? They're the ones making the big bucks, I guess. So.
Just because you make the big bucks doesn't mean you're making the right decisions.
No, it doesn't. But
yeah. But anyway, he's meeting Tom right now. Oh, there's Dumbledore. There's Richard. Richie Rich.
I think he should have got Ian McKellen to play.
Yeah, but he'd already been Gandalf, and I would think that people would get that confused. I think he played his iconic wizard.
I think he's a good enough actor where he could have.
I think he is too.
Made
But
a separate character, but
do you think they even asked him?
Probably not. He was probably doing Lord of the Rings at this point because the first one came out in
2000, and then Lord of the Rings came out in 01, right?
01, but then the Chamber of Secrets was probably a year or two later, so they were probably still doing reshoots. I know they filmed all the Lord of the Rings at once, but I think they probably did do some reshoots and stuff. So,
well, no offense to Michael Gambon.
No, he's a good actor.
Been
I've
in
seen him in lots of stuff, but it's just it's one of those things where he didn't really, in my eyes, capture the spirit of the character.
No, he didn't.
And
he
maybe
captured his own spirit. Yeah.
Or been, somewhat familiar.
But the other thing, Phil, is if he'd read the script, I'm pretty sure that it probably said, he said to Harry calmly.
I don't know. Like, we were kind of talking earlier how they do switch things in the movies just because reasons.
Yeah.
I mean, they had Harry at the beginning of Prisoner of Azkaban practicing.
Oh, yeah, you were
Lumos
mentioning this, yeah.
In his room, which that's a big no-no. And and then, I mean, so they switch things, but...
Yeah, people can it is true, people can get upset with the movie, but you're not the one making the movie. But at the same time, we are allowed to be upset with the movie. Yeah. And like I was saying earlier, I have the audiobooks. I need to re-listen to all the audiobooks. But that's the other thing is the audiobooks are narrated by different people.
Yeah.
So who's the British guy that narrates it? He was the host of QI, and
I'm not sure. It's been a long time since I've listened to those. So, but I think I think that's why fans get upset. It's not that they're gatekeeping or anything like that, but they love that that IP. They love the characters, and they don't want it changed because it's not. They fell in love with those stories, and then when you come in, people come in and kind of change things and
Well, and the other thing is,
that
okay,
really don't have a stake in it. They aren't necessarily fans. They've never read it.
right.
And then they're just like, well, I'm going to change it the way I want it. It's just like,
Well, and I was a child when these first two movies came out, and then I was a teenager with the third one. But I read the books, but I was not like nitpicky on them. No, I didn't remember every little detail, but I remember the details they had in the movie. I remember a little bit more than I do the books because I watched the movie over and over and over and over and over. So almost, unfortunately or fortunately, the movie details became the main details to me, as opposed to the book. Because I'll be honest, I haven't read the book as much as I've watched the movies, which is, that's just the way it goes. It's a 2-hour movie. How long will it take you to read a book? But, so I mean, and that was just because of the age I was. I wasn't going to reread a book 12 times.
oh, I probably have, but
As a
That's the
kid,
thing.
as a like 11-year-old.
I wasn't 11.
I know, but that's the difference between you and me. Yeah. So,
But that was the thing. You reread them because there's like going to be probably like 2 or 3 years before you got the next book. So you just
right, true.
I remember going and they'd have a midnight release because it's not like it was today where you had digital books where you could just download it.
Yeah.
Or Amazon, you have it there waiting on you. You know the day of it. You go at midnight.
Stand in line,
get the book, and
have the
you go
jerk in
home
front
and
of you,
just
read
read
the
it through
end.
the night because you were just wanting to
Yeah.
consume it.
Know
And-
what happens.
Yeah, and back then it's funny because I was thinking about this the other day. But back when books originally came out, something like Harry Potter, when the first edition, they were always hardback, so they were like $30, $40.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you just went and bought the paperback. I think most of the time now, it's just when it's released, it's automatically.
If you were there at midnight, you weren't there to get the paperback.
No, but
Yeah.
they didn't have it yet because
Yeah.
it'd be a year or two before
True.
they would have a paperback. It was always like a hardback.
True.
So, you'd go and get it and then usually pass it to the next person,
Yeah.
like in the family or whatever, because you weren't
Me.
going to buy like
Yeah.
5 copies of a $30 book.
Well, and the
But-
other thing is, so this is like, that was the binging for us then, because you couldn't binge things on television back then, but you could binge a book. You could read a book. You can't watch all 12 episodes of something because that's not how things were released then, but you binged the Harry Potter book when you got it.
Yeah, well, and I remember the last one especially. Everybody, you waited there and they had a pallet and everybody was waiting around and they handed it to you and everybody was talking. But then it was dead quiet because everybody was reading it while they were in line to check out. They just started reading as soon as it
You
was
just hear
handed.
the flipping of pages.
Yeah, and you just walk through, people reading, and then they just in line and then pay and had their nose in the book.
Has there ever been anything like with a book like that ever? Dune?
Well, I doubt it because
There
Dune
were
was back in
lines.
the 80s
Da
or
Vinci.
70s, probably. I'm trying to remember. I think Dune came out in the early 70s, so I can't really speak to that.
The Da Vinci Code, maybe?
I don't think so.
I don't think there's ever been anything like this. There's multiple books in the series where that happened. I can
Yeah.
understand one book.
Yeah. Even The Lord of the Rings was back in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
Or well, actually, The Hobbit was probably like, it was earlier than that because I know Tolkien was in, which World War was he in?
That would be 2.
2.
Right?
Was he? I don't know, because he wrote The Hobbit and then he was in the war and then he wrote The Lord
that
of the
might be
Rings.
one.
It was one big book. It might have been one. He
Yeah.
World War One.
I'll look it up for you.
I'm pretty sure it was World War One. Children's book.
The Great War, which would be World War One, right?
Yeah. Pretty sure.
Yeah, World War One, most notably in the bloody battle of the Somme Somme.
Yeah.
The earliest works of the Legendarium collected in the Book of the Last Tales Part 2 were begun during the conflict. So he was writing while he was fighting, while he was in the war.
I think actually, like, he, even like with Sam, he wrote that about, like, I don't know, he was like general, I think he was an officer, and that was like, he wrote Sam after someone that was like kind of under him, that was like just like a real wholesome,
A good
soldier
comrade
that was like,
had your
trusted
back.
and true, and he wrote that about, I'm pretty sure, I could be I've heard that story.
You want me to look it up? We
Yeah.
got time.
And then
It's all about fighting in a war and and the different personalities it takes to do it.
And even like with the industrialization of, where they were tearing up the trees and Isengard and
J.R. Tolkien, author of The Lord of the Rings, based the character Samwise Gamgee on the English soldiers he served with during World War I, particularly the privates and batmen he knew. Tolkien
Sam Gamgee.
Tolkien admired these soldiers and wrote that they were so far superior to him. Sam's story also parallels the English countryside during World War I, and the message is that anyone can save the world regardless of their class, education, or wealth. Wow. That's nice.
So,
Mr. Frodo.
Yep.
Did you know second breakfast? They do that in Ireland. They have second breakfast.
Do they?
Yeah. Potatoes.
I know they have.
What's happening?
Break
something.
I didn't. I know they have tea time in England and stuff. So they always.
Yeah, the English the Irish, they would have their original breakfast when they woke up. Then they go out and work, and then they have second breakfast. I'm not even sure if they had a lunch, and then they'd come in for supper. So maybe second breakfast is lunch. I don't know. Winner.
But yeah. So.
All right. Well, on that fun fact about Samwise, why don't we close out this episode, Phil?
All right.
Just remember, everyone, you can stay tuned for the segment where our mics weren't great, where we talk about Star Wars. I apologize, Phil.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah. Okay, bye, Phil.
Bye.
Stay tuned for other episodes of Muggle with a Mic.
See ya. To watch that.
What about Acolyte? Have you watched any
I don't know if we want to go down that road. That's probably best for another.
So you have or haven't?
I'm not a huge fan.
Oh, so you have watched?
I've seen bits and pieces. I haven't sat down.
Wait, what do you?
I haven't watched. I haven't watched all the episodes.
So you can't fully form an opinion, right?
I guess not. But from what I've seen, I'm just going to wait until it's all out and watch it.
Now let's see what changes.
I'm not a fan. So.
Okay, what makes you not a fan? What one main thing? Oh, look,
I thought it.
What one main thing you say about it?
Bad writing, bad acting, changing love for some things.
Okay, what are you meaning? What do you mean by the lore? Help me out because I may not know the lore.
Okay. Well, they have. I don't want to spoil it.
People know when they tune in that there might be spoilers. It's okay. If you haven't watched
I don't like early on. They're like, well, Jedis don't draw their lightsabers unless they're going to kill somebody. It's just like, no. It's mostly a defensive weapon. They draw, and then later on in the episode, 15 minutes later, it's like, I'm in a cave and I can't see. I'll use my lightsaber as a flashlight. Well, I thought you couldn't draw unless you're going to kill somebody.
That's true.
And then they had the Sith. It's like, well, you have to kill a Jedi without using a weapon. Well, aren't knives weapons?
Right, yeah.
How
do you kill someone without a weapon? Because your fist could be weapons.
Yeah. And then, and then they have Jedi that really aren't alive yet.
Okay, so FYI, I haven't watched the latest episode. I've watched the first 3. I haven't watched the 4th one.
Which one have you watched?
1, 2, and 3.
Oh, 1, 2, 3. You haven't seen any of them.
I haven't seen 4.
So maybe some. The fourth one came out this week, I think, unless they released 2 and I wasn't aware.
Let's just say they had one of the Jedi Masters from the Phantom Menace. He was on the High Council that's in this.
And I must not have seen that.
Yeah, he wouldn't have been born yet, but he's one of the Phantom Menaces. Like, oh, the Sith haven't been around for millennium. That's impossible. And it's just like, oh, well.
Well, that's the flaw with the Jedi. They think they know everything, and they think they're invincible, and they think that they...
Yeah, but he's here in this one, and there's Sith in this. So it's like, why are you saying it's like been 1,000 years? They've been extinct for 1,000 years.
Well, so I think they thought they
were what?
Extinct. Or were they...
Yeah, but he was in the Phantom Menace saying it, but he was in this episode.
Oh,
and there's Sith in it. And he even said, well, some people might call me a Sith.
See, now, I don't think I've been there yet.
Yeah.
I haven't been there yet.
So,
okay, so this is what the last thing I've seen is the last 10 seconds of episode 3, when you see this dark Wheeler attack them. And I don't know anything of it. So maybe the stuff that you're concerned about, I haven't seen yet.
Another thing I don't like is just like when you're like doing Star Wars, don't just copy other Star Wars. It's like, okay, well, we have these twins that are just like they were made in the Force. It's like, well, Anakin, don't.
I get it.
Just don't retread. Come up with something new.
You're
like,
repeating.
Yeah, you're repeating, and now you're lessening Anakin. He was an anomaly because the Force needed balance, and so the Force kind of created Anakin, and now you have these people. It's just like all willy nilly. It's like,
well, okay, so here's my argument for that. Because I was thinking that the other day. Like, someone's going to be upset that it's twins again, but it's a different take on it because one is good and one is bad.
Yeah, but
it's
not even that. It's just like do something besides all the Force. They're mystically created in the Force.
Yeah.
And
well,
then,
and the whole witch thing was weird.
That was weird.
I need more info on that.
Yeah. And then the whole thing with the twins, it's like, okay, it's like they had the same haircut and the same clothes since they were 16 years, and they thought they were dead, and they both are exactly the same haircut.
Yeah. Well, some twins have that instinctual thing, whether they've been apart or not, and they look the same when you see them. It's a weird thing that's in their DNA, I guess.
It's just like, I don't know. The whole thing is just like, well, I love my sister, I'm going to kill my sister. And then it's like, well, my sister is alive now, so it's like, I'm not going to be bad. I'm good now because my sister. It's just back and forth, back and forth. It's like she's.
I will say, I was
weird.
Quite bored with the majority of episode 3, which was us going back and hearing their story. I was just bored. But then the end made up for it, so I really need to watch episode 4. But I get the frustration with, why can't we come up with something?
Yeah.
I get that. And that's where you get the...
I will say the best actor. I mean, I don't think a lot of acting is very good, but as the actor from Squid Game. He's... And I thought it was weird, too, because they had that one Jedi. It's just like, oh, open door, he's not wearing a shirt. It's like, Star Wars isn't that kind of... I mean, it's like, why are you doing that? Star Wars...
Well, and Jedi aren't even supposed to have those kind of attachments or anything, so why are we even doing that?
Yeah, it's just like, no, you're just... I mean, yeah, that's just...
It's because they're trying to appeal to the people to bring new fans in, I guess. I don't know. And there are some people that, I guess, look for that. But it's like, go ahead and
Star Wars has never been... It's just been like the adventure and stuff. It's never really even...
You did have Han and Leia, and then that weird thing of her kissing her brother.
Well, they really didn't know they were brother and sister at that point.
I know.
But still, you didn't walk in like Han was like bare-chested.
No, I get it. No, it's true. And I don't really get him because it's like, he's an odd cookie. I don't know how to read him. And I don't know.
And what's the thing, they have the one Jedi that's like meditating for 10 years. And she busts in, it's just like, I'm going to kill you. And then I can't kill you, so I'm going to go get some poison. And he's like, oh, okay, well, I'll drink it. Why don't you just say, okay, well, I'll let you kill me in the first place?
Because I don't think she realized that he was going to be that difficult get out of the meditation or whatever he was doing. But I think the whole point of that was to show he knew that he had done something wrong. So what the heck did he do that made him okay to kill himself? But if he was going to go ahead and kill himself,
that's what I mean.
Why didn't he just let her?
That's what I was saying. Why are you just like, oh, it's okay now because you got poison? So I mean, it's like I didn't get that. It didn't make any sense to me. It's not logical. Scream came out. They were advertising Drew Barrymore was in it and everything, and then they killed her off in the first 3 minutes.
Oh, you're talking about Trinity?
Carrie-Anne Moss.
Yeah.
And I know the reason they probably said, "Oh, fight me without weapons," is because of the Matrix, and they wanted to make it Matrixy. But that was just like, no. I mean, because Jedi
do your own thing.
I mean, that's just Jedi were never like, no, I can't draw my weapon unless I'm going to kill you.
I was annoyed that they. Oh, look, Baby Yoda's over there. I just noticed that.
Where?
He's in the corner by the Kona Big Wave ad over to the left. The cake, the cake thing might be in the way.
But
Grogu, sorry.
You go through all these series where people are getting impaled by lightsabers, and it's just, I'm fine. I brush it off. And then it's just like you have a little steak knife she gets.
We need to have Dr. Weedy break that down.
She gets hit with.
Well,
and then it's like, oh, I'm dead. And like I know there's a lot of people that kind of like it, and that's cool. But I know the Rotten Tomatoes is like 13% on it. The audience score, it's like not many people are.
Well, and they're talking about doing a season 2 already.
I don't think they are. I don't think they'll do it.
No, I mean I saw an ad where they were. Like there was an Entertainment Weekly article saying that they were contemplating it. Not that it was confirmed.
We'll see. I don't think that.
All
But
right,
hey,
well,
if they do, and that's they bought that IP, they can throw as much money into it as they want. So
we got our Star Wars talk.
Well, you know how much they spent on that, right? And the episodes are only like about 20 some minutes. So
I love it. I think they're like a half hour or something.
yeah. I think one was about. They spent like more than they spent like $180 million for that series. I don't know where the money went.
Well, probably the actors.
Yeah, but there's no big name actors. I mean, you got Carrie-Anne Moss, but she died in like 5 minutes. She probably spent a day filming.
No, well, so she comes into play later. Like there's retrospective scenes.
Yeah, but it's not like she's like the main.
I know, yeah. No, I did feel like that first scene that she was in. I was like, we're just doing Trinity all over again. So,
and to me, it's like Jedi were never. It's like they aren't kung fu experts or anything, but
but now we have to remember. You've read Star Wars novels and stuff like that. You know a lot more about it than Robbie does too, and Chris does too. I'm the novice. I'm the path.
I don't think they ever did a lot of hand to hand.
But this was 100 years before. Have you read a lot of stuff?
I mean, I've read some stuff, but I don't think it changed that much.
I mean, a lot has changed since 1924.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's my only argument for that is just because it could have morphed in that time period.
I mean, did you like it? What's your take? I don't want to be a negative Nelly. I mean, I did enjoy it, but other people do.
I wouldn't say, I'm intrigued. Not so much that I think I love Andor a lot better.
I still think the best thing Disney's done has been Rogue One. I mean,
the first thing that they did, basically. But I'm enjoying it just because I don't know what's going to happen and I don't know how they're going to do things. That's more so why I keep tuning into the episodes.
It's difficult
I do
for me.
feel like it's just a filler series.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's a huge impact on anything now. I haven't seen episode 4, people. So, maybe.